Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear students. Today we are doing a revision lesson on the prison of Zenda, chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get started. Do you think راسندل was honest؟ هل تعتقد أن راسندل كان أمينا؟ Why not? I think that he was honest. أعتقد أنه كان أمينا. Although he wanted to show the princess that he trusted her, he preferred that she wouldn't say what she liked to him, because he was not the man she thought he was. Although he wanted to show، بالرغم انه كان يحب ان يبرهن to the princess، للبرنسيس that he trusted انه يثق فيها. He preferred، كان يفضل that she wouldn't say، الا تقول what she liked، كل ما تحب to him، له، because، لانه he wasn't the man she thought he was، انه ليس الرجل الذي تعتقده. طبعا هو ما هاش الملك. Another example: he could have get rid of Sabt, Fritz and the real king and be the king forever, but he didn't. He could have get rid، كان بامكانه ان يتخلص من Sabt، فريدز and the real king والملك and be the king ويصبح الملك forever, but he didn't. ولكن لم يصبح. طبعا ده يبرر إن that he was a man of principles، رجل مبادئ. Number 20. On arriving at the hunting lodge, Sabt told Rasandal to tie the horses and follow him. On leaving the hunting lodge, Sabt told Rasandal that he would go and get the horses and follow him. In your opinion, why? On arriving at the hunting lodge، when they arrived، لما وصلوا كوخ أو منزل الصيد، Sabt told، أمر Sabt راسندل to tie the horses، أن يربط الخيول and follow him ويتبعه داخل المنزل. On leaving، when they left، لما غادروا the hunting lodge المنزل الصيد، Sabt told، قال Sabt لراسندل that he would go، أنه سوف يذهب and get the horses ويأتي بالخيول and follow him ويتبعه. In your opinion, why؟ ليه؟ هذا سؤال رأيي. On arriving at the hunting lodge، Rasendel's role as a king was nearly over. When they arrived at the hunting lodge، لما وصلوا الهانتنج لودج، Rasendel's role، كان دور راسندل as a king كملك was nearly over، كان انتهى. فمش مشكلة يروح يجيب الخيول أو الحمير. It's okay. On leaving the hunting lodge، Rasendel was to continue as a king. You can't ask a king to go and get the horses. When they left the hunting lodge، راسندل was to continue، كان راسندل عليه أن يستمر في دور الملك as a king، دور الملك. You can't، بالطبع لا تستطيع أن تسأل. You can't ask the king، تسأل الملك to go and get the horses، أن يذهب ليأتي بالخيول. Okay. 21. The nearer he is to me, the better. This statement has two different meanings. Discuss. The nearer the duke or Duke Michael is to me، كل ما يكون مايكل قريب مني، the better، كل ما يكون أفضل. This statement، هذه الجملة أو هذا الخبر، has two different meanings، له تأويلان، له معنيان. Discuss، اشرح. Illustrate، give example. Yes. The princess understood that Rasandel wanted to keep the duke near to him to know what he was doing، that's to say to discover his evil plans. The princess أميرة فلافيا understood، فهمت that Rasandel، أن راسندل wanted to keep، يريد الإبقاء على الذوق the duke near to him، بالقرب منه، to know what he was doing، لمعرفة ما يقوم به. that to say يعني عايز تقول to discover his evil plans، أن يكتشف خططه الشريرة. طب راسندل said that he wanted to keep him nearer because he was his half brother، they were family. راسندل said، قال راسندل that he wanted to keep him، يريد الإبقاء به بالقرب منه، because he was، لأنه his half brother، أخيه لأبيه، they were family، وأنهم ما زالوا عائلة. Okay. 22. How do you think Rasen tried to relieve Michael's anger after not asking him to get in? Why do you think، برأيك، راسندل كيف حاول راسندل tried to relieve يعني يهدئ، يخفف Michael's anger، من غضب مايكل after not asking، لما لم يسأله أن يدخل get in. Okay. He went and asked Michael to join him into the princess guest room. He went in person، ذهب شخصيا، and asked Michael، وطلب من مايكل to join him، أن يلحق به into the princess guest room، بحجرة ضيوف البرنسيسة الأميرة. Also, Rasandel apologized to Michael for not letting him in as he didn't know that he was waiting. Rasandel apologized، اعتذر راسندل لمايكل to Michael for not letting him، لعدم السماح له بالدخول، as لأنه he didn't know that he was waiting، لم يعرف أنه بالخارج، ينتظر بالخارج. 23. Do you think that Fritz carried out his role in guarding the king's bedroom as well as he promised? Do you think، هل تعتقد أن Fritz carried out، قام بدوره his role in guarding، في حراسة the duke's the king's bedroom, حجرة الملك كما وعد as he promised? Definitely no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He was asleep when Sabt Rassendel returned to the palace. Okay, لا أعتقد. He was asleep, كان نائما when Sabt and Rassendel لما Sabt وراسندل returned رجعوا إلى البالاس اللي هو القصر from Zenda from the hunting lodge. Okay, 24. Why was Rassendel very careful when he talked to Princess Flavia? Why was Rassendel لماذا كان راسندل very careful حريصا when he talked لما كان بيتحدث مع the Princess Flavia? Because he didn't want the princess to know that he was not the king. لأنه لا يريد البرنسيسة أن تعرف أنه ليس الملك. Because he didn't want لا يرغب في أن the princess الأميرة to know أن تعرف that he was not the king. مش عايزة تعرف إنه ليس الملك. What does Sabt mean when he said they can't do anything without showing their guilt? كان يقصد ايه؟ what does Sabt mean؟ ماذا يقصد Sabt when he said لما قال they can't do لا يستطيعون anything فعل أي شيء without showing their guilt دون الإفصاح والإعراب عن ذنبهم ذنبهم or their crime جريمتهم. they couldn't say that Rassendel wasn't the king لا يستطيعون القول بأن Rassendel ليس الملك because they want to have admit kidnapping the king سوف يعترفون باختطاف الملك and killing Joseph وقتل Joseph. So they couldn't say that Rassendel wasn't the king because they would have to admit kidnapping the king and killing Joseph. يعني حيقولوا لو قالوا إن راسندل مهواش الملك بالتالي حيضطروا يقولوا أو يعرف أنهم خطفوا الملك وقتلوا جوزيف. Sabt, Fritz and Rassendel couldn't accuse بالتالي Sabt, Fritz, Rassendel couldn't accuse لا يستطيعوا اتهام Michael of abducting باختطاف the king because لماذا؟ they would have to admit سوف يضطرون بالاعتراف that Rassendel wasn't the real king أن راسندل ليس الملك الحقيقي. really it was stalemate نعم إنها ورطة مصيبة. So Sabt, Fritz, Rassendel couldn't accuse Michael of abducting the king. Why? Because they would have to admit that Rassendel wasn't the real king. really it was stalemate نعم إنها مصيبة إنها ورطة. 26. Why was it necessary to have a king in سلساو؟ ليه كان ضروري إن يكون في ملك في سلساو؟ Okay, if Rassendel weren't crowned إن لم يتوج Rassendel Michael would be the king instead سوف يكون الملك اللي هو ديوك مايكل. So if Rassendel weren't crowned Michael would be the king instead. 27. Rose was very persuasive person. Illustrate, discuss, give examples. Rose كانت شخصية لها ذات تأثير عالي مقنع. اشرح وضح. She had a way of asking people to do things which was impossible to refuse. She had a way كان عندها طريقة of asking people تطلب من الناس to do things أن يفعلوا أشياء which was impossible to refuse من المستحيل أن ترفض هذه الطريقة. Rassendel promised her to accept the offer even if it was a terrible embassy. Okay, Rassendel promised وعد Rassendel her وعدها to accept أن يقبل the offer العرض even if it was a terrible embassy حتى لو كانت سفارة مرعبة مخيفة. So Rassendel promised her to accept the offer even it was a terrible embassy حتى لو كانت سفارة ليست جيدة. How does Rassendel act when he makes mistakes? When does Rassendel كيف كان Rassendel act يتصرف when he makes mistake لما يغلط كان بيعمل ايه بيتصرف ازاي؟ He says that he was never good at remembering all the rules كان بيقول انه مش كويس في حفظ القواعد. And he says that he forgot the people he had met before and the rules كان بيقول انه نسأل الناس اللي قابلها والقواعد. So he says that he was never good at remembering all the rules. Now choose the correct answer. What is the setting of Prisoner of Zenda? Ruritania in the late 19th century, Ruritania in the early 19th century, Ruritania in the late 18th century, Ruritania in the early 19th. طبعا هنا السنة بيقول 1818 and 73 I think. So the answer here or the right answer Ruritania in the late 19th century في أواخر القرن 19 اللي هو يعني 1800 وحاجة. يبقى the right answer is letter A is A. Number 2. How long did it take Rassendel to agree to impersonate the king? كم من الوقت استغرق Rassendel في قبول تشخيص أو القيام بدور الملك. هو بيقول لك ان ايه the hour tick 60 70 and 80 يعني